Scattered showers late night. Not a big deal. 55. Saturday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. Couple of showers, but a lot of dry time on Saturday, 68 degrees. Sunday and Monday, clouds with scattered showers, a couple of non-severe thunderstorms, but no all-day rain. I think the biggest thing about this weekend, it's cool. 64 for the high Sunday and Monday, well below average. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Right now, the sun's shining at 68 in St. Peter's and Florissant and 68 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Brought to you by Visit Missouri.
When you golf in Missouri, the courses are so close, you'll spend more time on the fairway than the freeway. After the back nine, enjoy our world-class dining and distilleries, shops and spas, museums, and more. Find your new golf MO at visitmo.com. The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Good afternoon, St. Louis. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Happy Friday to everybody.
Happy Friday.
Hi.
Piss off. I'm in a bad mood.
All right.
Yeah.
I can match that.
Can you?
Well, I'd have to work on it today because,
Because you're just so friggin' happy because you're Kevin Wheeler?
No, just nothing's gone wrong yet today.
Yeah, it did for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I get it. I told you if I'd been in that seat, I'd be just like you.
Yeah, I
I'd
missed
be
an
heated.
appointment this morning, which I never, ever, ever do. And it just gets your whole day off. And it's one of those things like I don't get in a bad mood that often, like where you can't get out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like typically it's like, oh, that sucked. Moving on. And today, since it's Friday and it's holiday weekend and it's a beautiful day, that's just making me all the pister. And
Totally get
both
it.
the kids are out of town. Phoebe's with her pals. Nick's in DC. So it's gonna be kind of a long, lonely weekend. But you know what I mean? It's just one of those
Totally
like
get it.
bleh, bleh, bleh.
And there's nothing like, at least to me, there's nothing like the anger that comes with being mad at yourself.
Yeah.
Like I get more angry at myself than pretty much anything else.
Right. I really wanted to be mad at Andrew, but I couldn't. So that made it even worse. Like, had I just been able to go like, oh, thank God it was Andrew's fault. And if you're a real pal, you'd have just taken that upon you.
That is what I'm here for. And I'm happy to provide that service.
I mean, you just got back from your friggin' California, Hawaii vacation, and everything's right with the world with you. You could have taken this one for the team.
I should have. I'm sorry.
Like, oh, I knew all about that appointment. I should have told you. It's all on me.
This is a fair point. I really probably should have.
All right, thanks. Somehow it doesn't help. So, time of your life?
Yeah.
Good.
I
for you.
would like to sympathize, and I'd like to be like, oh, don't worry, Dave. It was actually kind of terrible, but no, it was the best. It was the best trip I've ever been on by like a huge margin.
Good.
Yeah, super duper fun. I did miss you guys. I thought about you guys a lot while I was out there.
That's sweet.
A couple of dreams, normal stuff.
Yeah, it's totally normal.
Yeah.
I did have two dreams opposite. One of the days that I was staying in the Disney hotel, I woke up to my alarm. I started freaking out because I was like, oh my God, I gotta get to work. And then I like realized that I was in like a motel across the street from Disneyland.
Yes.
And then similarly this morning, my alarm went off and I was like, good to be on vacation. Maybe I'll just kill this alarm and go back to sleep. But then I like jumped up out of bed like, oh no, wait, I gotta go to work.
I don't know why you're here today because you could have had like 14 days off.
Yeah, I did want to come back. I mean, I do for what it's worth. I do like the show and my job and stuff. So it's like, I would have felt weird. There have been days where I took a day off to like play a video game or whatever. I feel kind of weird about it because I'm just like sitting at home doing nothing while you guys are doing the show. And it's like, I could come in and do the show.
It's your time off.
Yeah.
You get to do what you want to do.
But I was excited to come back today. I was excited to get in and do the show. And
so your speech went well?
Yes, my speech went extremely well.
I'm shocked.
Nice.
I'm super.
Like when you laid it out for us, I was a little nervous.
I was too. There were some things that I had to take out because there were a couple of things I thought were a little iffy, and I like kind of previewed them to my brother. I was like, "What if I say?" Because he had some really bad roommate troubles that I guess most people, like their friends, don't know about.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I'm going to talk about this in the speech. And he was like, no, don't do that. We have lots of mutual friends in the audience, and it will create a huge problem if you do that.
He must have been really nervous.
I think he was very nervous
Yeah.
for me to give mine. I did a good job, though, I think.
Yeah.
My dad went first. And so my brother has a way of speaking that's very, like, non-committal. Like, he's not a very direct, like, assertive guy.
Yeah.
So he was like, well, I think what we're probably going to do, because they had 4 speeches. So I think he was like, I think we're probably going to have Dad go first. And then you and Anant will go after Dad. Anant is my new sister-in-law's little brother. And then we'll have Emma, Reka's friend, go after that, and then my friend Cody will go last. I think that's how we'll do it. That's kind of what we're thinking. And I was like, oh, I can't go after Dad because Dad's speech was probably going to make me cry, and then I need to not go after Dad. And then he's like, well, deal with it because that's the way it's happening. So,
Sounds pretty direct to me.
Right. He got all of a sudden very direct. I was like, well, you left the door
it's his
open.
wedding.
It is his wedding, but it's like he left the door open by being all wishy-washy sounding about it. I didn't realize it was so set in stone. But my dad's speech,
is it actual wishy-wash, or is it more like, I really know, but I'm trying to make it seem like I'm being nicer than just laying down the law?
that one.
Okay.
It's that one. Yeah. And I mistook the two, as I often do. And but my dad's speech didn't make me cry, which was good. So I didn't have to go up there and be all weepy and
Did your
Right.
ceremonial Indian outfit fit you?
sure didn't.
Ah,
It sure didn't. I have
bummer.
some pretty hysterical pictures of me wearing it too. Because it almost fit.
But you got it on.
I got it on, but it was like
not super flattering.
was not a flattering look. I will say
Yeah.
I will say that much. And I was like, I can't wear this. And Megan, my wife, was like, no, I think you could wear it. I think you could wear it. She's like, sit down. So I sat down in it, and she's like, I think you could wear it. And I'm like, okay, that's not necessarily what you want to hear when it looks good. So I told my brother, I was like, yeah, maybe. And he was like, send me a picture of you wearing it. And I sent him a picture, and he goes, don't wear that.
Oh,
He goes, is it comfortable? I go, oh no, it's not comfortable. But I can barely get it on, if that's what you're asking. So I did not wear it, which was extremely humiliating at first, but I got over it eventually, because we went to the big welcome party that they had for all the out-of-towners. So a bunch of the Indian family was there, and then, some of us, from around here or Chicago. And
Was everyone but you wearing it?
everyone in the family was.
Okay.
Except me. And that was a little we all met in the lobby of the hotel, and my new Indian family is all down there, and we're all meeting up, and we're all having a great time. And I'm wearing like my big, because he asked me, because you know that shirt that I got recently that's like pink and it's got little like palm fronds on it. So my brother was like, well, you brought like another collared. Did you bring another collared shirt with you? I was like, well, I did.
So you wore the Tony Soprano shirt?
So I wore the Tony Soprano Hawaiian shirt to this party.
that's a good shirt.
I saw a picture, like Megan posted pictures of the two of you guys, and you looked good.
I looked normal. Yeah, it didn't look as bad as I thought. I was afraid it was going to look. But we were all meet up in the lobby, and everyone's wearing their kurtas, and their jewelry, and they all look gorgeous, and their bangles and their necklaces. And then my brother's new mother-in-law, Usha, was like looking everybody over, and she's like, "You all look so incredible. Oh, Megan, you look beautiful." And then she just kind of like looked at me and was like, and Anant, you and your girlfriend Maria both look stunning. She was like trying to find something equally nice to say, but just couldn't quite get there for like the big jolly fat guy shirt that I was wearing. And then to make matters worse, my brother that same night was like, well, what color jacket are you wearing for the wedding?
I saw
Yeah.
that the wardrobe changed.
Yeah.
The wardrobe changed. Because I was like, I didn't bring one. I was just going to wear like, because he goes, what are you wearing to the wedding? And I'm like, pants, shirt, tie. I don't really understand the question.
You're like, clothes?
Yeah,
Hello?
I was a little insulted at first. I was like, okay, I fit into the wedding clothes. I just don't fit into this garment weight for people who are very, very thin. And he's like, well, what color jacket? And I'm like, I don't have a jacket. So you have to have a jacket. You have to have a jacket. You're going to be the only person in pictures without a jacket. So I had to go out, and I had to find a store in Pasadena at 10 in the morning that would sell me suit jacket. That wasn't hard, but it was the principle.
I was gonna say, you're in LA.
It was very.
Where
I was
am I
like,
gonna find this?
where am I gonna find nice clothing in Los Angeles?
You look very nice. You and Megan looked very nice.
Thank you. I really like the jacket that I found. So
At
that was a
one point,
nice.
You thought that the dress was no jacket required at a wedding?
Well, when you put it that
Well,
way.
there are plenty of there are plenty of people who don't wear a jacket to a wedding. I feel
Not at this
like.
wedding, though.
Yeah,
I will
okay.
say.
Not if you're giving a
I will
speech.
say everybody.
Not when you're in it.
Everybody else was definitely wearing a jacket.
Well, you're improving my mood, so.
But I did find I was very upset about having to drop yet more money on this wedding. But I really liked the jacket that I found, and also I kept telling myself, and it's like I should have something like that. I should have like a nice kind of sport coat type jacket that I can wear to events and stuff.
Yeah,
which I had never had in the past. So it's like it wasn't a total loss. I do like it. It's very good. It's like a linen. It's very nice.
Yeah, no, I saw it. You look good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Any other highlights?
Oh boy, nothing but highlights. It did rain at the wedding, which was a huge crisis, but I think it's going to end up looking very nice. It was the one day ever in Los Angeles where it was like 60 degrees and raining. It was like totally freezing. I know. But and that was like the bride's worst nightmare was that it might rain.
Yeah.
Or that her family would get scammed out of an Airbnb, and both of those things did end up happening.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they used a weird website to book their Airbnb for them, and it ended up being like the Airbnb just didn't exist.
That sucks.
And I guess the way that these scams work, they're very common. I've never heard of them around here, but they're very common out there, where they just you're like, okay, I'm ready to check in, and they go, okay, the building that I was gonna put you in is under construction, so you got to go to this building. And then you go to that building, and they lead you to like a fake location, basically. And they're like, there's a lockbox there that'll have your key in it. And then when you can't find it, they're like, oh, that's so crazy that you can't find it. Look a little harder.
So then do they just disappear?
They basically just double down and keep insisting that you're in the wrong until you, I guess, just like give up. Yeah, it's a very strange thing, but it happened to a few people who were coming in from out of town.
Wow.
I know.
That's why I like hotels.
Yeah.
I also prefer hotels. One of the Airbnbs I stayed in was haunted, though. I think. There was like a guy lurking around it while I was sleeping. Hopefully it's ghosts. That's better than the alternative. Because I closed a bunch of the like doors and like kind of cabinet space and stuff. This was the Airbnb we stayed in Wednesday night. So the last night we were in Los Angeles. We were only there for like an hour and then we went to bed. And I closed there was like a door from the bedroom out to the garage. And I closed that and I locked the door and I closed all the cabinets and drawers and everything. And when I woke up, they were all open again, including the door that led to the garage, which was very scary. And I was glad to be leaving immediately. And so I don't know if like the Airbnb host was like in there walking around while I was sleeping. I know.
You're not making an Airbnb sound very good.
Yeah.
It's got its ups and downs.
I mean,
it's got its pros and cons.
I've stayed in a couple, but not ones that I booked. Other people booked, but I just as soon go to a hotel.
Yeah. I've never had it. We booked this Airbnb through the website. It was not a scam. I recommend anybody out there who's doing Airbnb book it through the actual website. Don't go through any like third-party booking aid websites like booking.com or something like that. Don't use those because that's where these kind of scams can come into play.
We just paid a fortune in Chicago, and there was no need to because it's just me and Nick. We just need 2 queen beds and a decent place. And the cheapest places were $500
a night.
Yeah,
man.
Yep. And I looked. I'm like, oh, this must be a big weekend. And so I looked a couple weeks out, and it was the same.
Yeah,
like everything's
that's
5, 6
downtown. That would be normal.
Chicago hotels are crazy.
Even here, I don't know if you've ever looked at a hotel in St. Louis
in the
anytime
city
recently.
Oh no, I haven't.
But like the Ritz is like $900.
Yeah, it's pretty wild
on just a normal night.
Yeah.
They're really telling us we're not welcome there.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like $1,000 on a Wednesday or something. Like, okay, all right.
To come, I mean,
I'll avert my eyes when I drive by.
To come here of all places.
Right.
Andrew told me I can never go to Los Angeles.
Yeah. I wouldn't really recommend. Maybe Kevin would enjoy it, but the driving is a nightmare. It is terrifying. It is awful. I was horrified the entire time. I didn't drive. My dad drove, and he's already kind of he's a creative driver. And I was like white knuckling the little, hangers in the back of the car for dear life.
That's how I was in Chicago. We didn't drive. We took a lot of Ubers and Lyfts and cabs, and it was, what did I call it? It's like aggressive cooperation. They're like everyone's honking at like they honk at each other.
Mostly city streets.
Yeah.
They
honk at each other in a way that would be a fist fight in St. Louis. But it's just like nothing. They just like
in any big city I've been in, it's kind of like that.
Yeah,
like in the city.
Same thing in LA. My new sister-in-law was driving Megan and I somewhere, and I think she might have been going like the wrong way down a one-way, and people are honking, and my wife points that out to her, and she goes, "Oh, are those honks for me?" And I was like, "They're not for you. They're at you."
For you.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place. For changes big and small, loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Progressive knows road trips without your pet can be tough.
Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
For your best vision, visit the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. They're the doctors' doctors. And what that means is more than 250 doctors trust their eyes to the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranja Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. So you should trust your eyes to them as well. Doctors Birdie and Malhotra are also cornea surgeons. They're experts in diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye, dry eye, allergy eyes, cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, and yes, they do LASIK surgery as well. So do it today. Make an appointment with the doctors' doctors, the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates, and protect your sight. Call them at 314-966-5000. That's 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com. You can find Ophthalmology Associates at 12990 Manchester Road, just a half mile west of 270 on eastbound Manchester. youridoc.com.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Show, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
It's not too late for a deep spring cleaning on your home. Give my friends at Zero Res a call today. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and tell them that Dave Glover sent you.
You asked, we delivered. KMOX, now on FM. Crystal clear sound at 104.1 FM.
Welcome back, DGS. Happy Friday, 124. We're very strange about animals. Like anytime like a pig truck wrecks and the pigs get out, we give them names and we like put them in the lap of luxury. I always say this. And there is a bear cub found. And so these people are raising it. Like not just people, but somehow experts, animal people.
Okay.
And they are, because it's a tiny little bear cub, and they're all dressing like bears so that the bear is comfortable, and they're hoping to put it back out into the wild. You know what asabuco is?
I don't think so.
It's the shin of a calf, and it's the most supple meat that you can eat, and I've had it. And it's just weird that we're like, okay, everyone needs to dress up like a bear for the next 6 months, but let's take that 6-month-old cow there and kill it and eat its shins, right?
Yeah.
Just weird. We're very uneven. It makes no sense.
Nope.
Yeah, it really doesn't make any sense. And a lot of times when the cows escape or whatever, and it's like, well, guess what, little lady? You just earned your spot as a real thing. Your brothers and sisters are getting eaten.
They're just food.
Yeah. You've proved to me that you're like smart or something, and that's making a difference to me. So
you
no,
have
I'm not gonna
slightly
eat you.
human behaviors.
Yeah.
We have imprinted on you.
Yes.
You're better than the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
silly.
I've always been. I get the food thing more. I mean, I eat meat. So I mean, like I'm not. I don't protest on that, but I am always interested in like, okay, we're always going to be really nice to dogs and cats, but people are like mean as hell to like rabbits and raccoons. Like, shoot that thing. Like, why? Because it's going to maybe mess up your garbage. Who cares? Leave it alone. It's fine. It's got a purpose. They
eat the garden, Kevin.
Oh, well, in that case, kill it.
He gets it. There you go. He gets it now.
Raccoons have little human hands.
I know. They're cool.
They're cute. I love raccoons.
Wish I could have a pet raccoon.
I wish I could have a pet bunny, but I feel like my cat Lucy would immediately kill the bunny.
Yeah.
So
my
Yeah,
dogs
or
try
try.
every day because
Yeah.
we got rabbits that live in our backyard.
Yeah.
There's like 3 or 4 of them out there sometimes, and they try. They can't catch them because they're a little slow. But
Moses broke his toe.
Oh,
his
no.
toe.
Yeah, I didn't even know the dogs had
baby.
Yeah, they got little
discernible toes.
Yeah.
Do you know how he did that?
No, he didn't say.
Soccer accident.
He's being really secretive about it.
He didn't say.
But he's limping around like a Civil War soldier.
I bet he stubbed it on a table just like we do.
Yeah, something. He's really playing it up, though.
He finally put his paw on
Does
the
he do?
wrong
Is
person.
it a front paw?
Yeah.
Does he do the thing where he holds it up and he looks really pathetic?
Yeah, Rachel's right. He finally got too handsy with the
man.
with the wrong person.
They definitely know. They definitely know I can get sympathy.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, but they definitely look at you like,
Mm-hmm.
Just a reminder to have your air conditioner checked for the summer so you don't have a mishap and it goes down in the hottest day of the year. But it's always best to have it done. Call us and we'll be more than happy to come out there and check it for you. And like always, if you're having your furnace checked by another company and you are told that this is the year you need to replace it, call me for a second opinion. The 0% interest is still available on most brands. Save your cash and keep your credit cards open and away from those high rates. Call me. You'll be glad you did. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The easiest. It is 314-293-2600 or on the website bartinman.com. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Here's a few questions for you from California Psychics. Do your workdays seem to go on forever? Is your career progression as fast as downtown traffic? Or does your boss still not know your name?
Hey, you, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Carrie, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
It's time to read the career warning signs and talk to California Psychics. We're always on hand to give you the career guidance you need. You see, we only connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So you could soon be telling your boss where to stick that report.
Where are you going, Terry? Terry!
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
We take you now to Dave Murray's forecast.
Oh, what a great way to kick off the long holiday weekend. It's a beautiful Friday afternoon. Sunshine in control, 71 for the high. More and more clouds take over tonight. Couple of showers well after midnight. Evening's fine. 55 for the low. Saturday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. Couple of showers, but a lot of dry time on Saturday. 68 for the high. Sunday and Monday, clouds with scattered showers, couple of non-severe thunderstorms. Both days cool, 64 for the high Sunday and again on Monday. Again, it's not a washout of a weekend, but we'll keep an eye on the sky. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan of McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-525-9369, 800-525-9369, 800-525-9369.
In the aftermath of a devastating tornado, your generosity has made a real difference. Thanks to donors like you, the Red Cross is providing shelter, meals, and hope to families in crisis. But the need isn't over. Please, if you can, give today. Every dollar helps deliver critical relief and comfort when it's needed most. And every dollar stays right here in St. Louis. Visit KMOX.com/Red Cross to donate now.
Tonight,
The Cards, the D-backs.
Ameren Total Access 620.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX 133. Beautiful day out there. So you guys were telling me a little bit about this at lunch, but I kind of wanted to hear it all at once live on the air. The situation with the button pushers, or the lack of button pushers, they were doing something pretty stupid at the time. They should have been pushing buttons. Is that right?
Well, they were in a workshop.
That's stupid.
And Joe Holloman from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch did some digging. And as to like, what kind of workshop are we talking about? Like, was it essential to the functions of this department? To me, it doesn't seem like it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a collaboration workshop. It came from Air Collaborative, which is a Washington, D.C. based nonprofit. And the workshop is designed to help people discover new ways to think about the power of creativity and challenge your mental models about art, business, community, and money. It uses hands-on collaboration, design thinking, and business planning to help grow creative communities and economies.
I've been to a million of these, and they're all crap. They're all stupid.
Well,
and get your ass back there so I am just a guy. I don't have any responsibilities to anyone officially. And I was texting Dave Murray on Thursday night because Phoebe was coming in from KU. And I knew that there was going to be bad weather on Friday afternoon. And I knew it could be really bad. And so I'm texting my friend Dave Murray, who I try not to bother on things like that. So if I was that aware of it, I would not have been at Dave & Buster's on a collaborative meeting.
Well, at least somebody should have to stay behind
Yeah,
when there's
like the
something
person in
severe.
charge.
Well, yeah, that would be the first person, right? Because you're like, I'll wear one for the team. I'm in charge. But like that's the kind of stuff that can't keep happening.
No.
Right? I mean, like,
it's what we're known for in the city. And sometimes mistakes are made and you still get fired. And maybe it wasn't completely your fault, but whoever that person is should not be here.
Well, this is the kind of thing that just completely breaks trust in government, because we need people to do what they're supposed to do in times of emergency. And yet during this emergency, everyone's out at a conference that is not necessary.
No.
I mean, maybe it's going to do some good down the line somewhere, but when there's a forecast like the one we were experiencing a week ago today, you move that conference, or like Wheels said, you have someone stay back.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. And then where I'm having a hard time connecting the dots, maybe Wheels knows this, but they released the phone call between Sarah Russell, the head of SEMA, and then the fire department, and they kind of had it back and forth, and it was like, are you going to hit the button? Yeah, okay, great. But then it didn't get hit and the sirens didn't go off. So did she make that call from the collaboration conference? Like, what is exactly the timeline here? I think we really deserve answers.
We'll
on this.
know, because there are going to be many multi-million-dollar lawsuits filed from people who were damaged, people who were injured, people who lost their lives.
I was gonna say, it's got to be more the loss of life, right? Because the damage was going to happen one way or the other.
No, but I mean, like people who are injured.
Right. The physical
they're
damage.
They're going to lawyer up. They're
Yep.
going to sue. They're going to win. It's going to cost the city millions and millions of dollars for stupid stuff like that.
And just to be clear, if anyone in that chain, like if somebody at the fire department said, I'm going to go do it, and they didn't, well, then that department's on it too.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not trying to pick one person or one thing, but emergency management is kind of important.
Right.
And for a city, was one of the things we've talked about a lot the last 4 years is if you can't protect people, you're not doing the job. And obviously, Kara Spencer's been there a few weeks. It's not like, it's time to point fingers yet. But at some point down the road, all the people are going to be getting fingers pointing at them when you're not protecting people from traffic problems and crime. And
the head of SEMA was primarily responsible for that.
Sure.
And Kara Spencer is primarily responsible for SEMA.
Now, yes.
The buck stops with her.
Yes.
And to her credit, she has taken the responsibility. But there's capital R responsibility and there's lowercase r responsibility. Kara Spencer should not have had to have known on that day who was responsible for pushing the button and where they were at the time.
That's right.
Because
And
she
if
has
the button
people.
actually works.
And if the button actually
That's
works.
another layer to the story
Yes.
that we're still trying to figure out.
Yeah.
But ultimately, she's responsible.
Right. And she said so. So I give her credit for that. And ultimately, when this stuff goes wrong, there has to be a fix.
There has to be accountability.
The fix isn't just a story explaining it. There has to be a new mechanism. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I'm not an expert, so maybe I'm just speaking out of my rear end. But this kind of stuff not going right, if it's not the technology being bad, because if it is the button not working or something like that, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's because of a human, that human should lose their job.
Yes.
This is literally your job.
Yes.
Is to be the to manage emergencies.
And
and this was coming. We knew this is like the snow.
Yes.
We knew it was coming.
Yes. And you don't have to be the head of emergency management. You can work at a Dairy Queen. But if you are going to take on that responsibility and it goes that horribly sideways that people die because they weren't warned about this tornado, then this is what happens to you.
Yeah, how can you possibly justify your position if you're not fulfilling the duties of that position?
No.
But I don't know. This is just the kind of thing when I found out about this, like it's a collaborative workshop. I was like, this is why people get so mad. And not just St. Louis city government, but government period.
Yeah.
You're spending our money to go do that. Like, what's going on in this workshop? What are you actually gaining from it? I would love to hear someone from SEMA. Let me know what you learned a week ago today. I need to know. Like, was it really that necessary?
How ironic.
How much did it cost?
That you're learning about collaborating when your ass should have been collaborating with the other people
Right.
to make sure that people in your city were safe.
Yeah.
When you had known for 24 to 48 hours that there is going to be danger.
Yeah.
That is unacceptable.
And you said at the beginning, I'm not saying what is being taught in the workshops is false or bad information or anything like that. But we all have been through similar things.
Yes.
And the only reason anybody wants to do them is because they get to not work.
Yes.
Yeah, you get free lunch.
Yep.
It's like a little field trip.
Happy horse crap.
If you had to tell people that you had to do it when you're not at work, nobody would do it.
No, if it were on a Saturday.
Right. Nobody
You're
would do
not
it.
collaborating.
Because every worker is going, this is stupid, but at least I don't have to sit at my desk.
Yeah.
And again, I've been there. I mean, this is not a secret. Everybody who works in a job has that same feeling. You know, like you're like, all right, don't want to do whatever. Usually it is something from some outside group comes in like, hey, we're going to help you with X. And you're like, great.
It's not the most important thing by far. It's pretty far down the list. But being from St. Louis and having just been out of town and telling people you're from St. Louis, we have to stop doing such ridiculously stupid stuff. I mean, we ask for it. Like the sheriff guy who's out there buying golf carts and
to cross the street.
Having people pick up his kids from school.
Oh, my God.
Rolling dice to see if you keep your job or not. And then the Kim Gardner thing, and then the Snowmageddon thing, and now this. Like, we couldn't look much dumber.
Do all cities have something like this? Or because it just seems like we have a lot.
No, but we seem to have just this. That's the perception.
No, that's a good point.
Because people don't think about St. Louis and go, but they've got this and they've got this and this.
See, like Chicago has all these things, but they also have Navy Pier and the museums and everything that's a big city. You know what I mean? Like, yes, Detroit has these things. Miami has these things. Every big city has these things, but it's not all they have.
No.
And that's not totally fair here. I mean, we've got
the perception.
Stuff, right? We have stuff. It's just not the same kind of stuff that draws from the outside like the other cities do. And it's super frustrating to do this stuff over and over again. Right.
Let's handle a little bit more of the real stuff. Then we'll just jack around for the rest of the show. What do you guys think about Donald Trump and Harvard? And you can no longer have international students, and all of you international students that came here in good faith, you now have to transfer to another university or get out of the United States.
Can't do it. Sorry. You don't have to it's a private institution. You can, I mean, I'm sure there are mechanisms where if they get federal funding, you can stop federal funding or take away some of it. I don't know.
Which they already did.
Right. I don't know the legality of all that, but I'm sure that that's a mechanism. You cannot tell a private anything that they have to fall in line with your view of the world when you're in office. Period. That's First Amendment, man. It's not more complicated than that. We should be as mad about the First Amendment being violated as people get about the Second Amendment being violated.
Gotta love small government, right? Stay out of everybody's business. Let them have freedom. Let them do what they want as long as it's not hurting anybody. I mean,
well,
come
that
on,
brand,
give me a break.
That brand has been changed, though, right? I mean, most of the people like Amy and Hancock and all of the Republicans, the conservatives that would be considered the traditional conservatives, they are saying that none of this stuff is conservative. This is populism.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening in the party right now. That's what MAGA is. It's a populist thing. It's not conservative.
But no one's going to stop him.
I mean, the courts try.
Yeah.
You know, you had the ruling on this, on the Harvard thing. Our court has already said, nope, can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll see where it goes. But I mean, if that goes to the Supreme Court, how is that not a slam dunk, unanimous? That is a violation of the First Amendment. You cannot make a private institution align with the government.
He's getting his wins in the Supreme Court, though. I mean, he's getting shot down in the district courts, but when he gets to the Supreme Court, they're bending over backwards. It's just weird. It's a weird time.
Well, when the obvious becomes not obvious, that's a problem.
Tariffs are back.
Oh, boy.
I finally checked my 401k, and it was okay.
Okay.
Like, it had come back pretty good.
Yeah, it depends on what day you check.
Yeah. And then I got up this morning, and it's like, 50% tariffs and tariffs on iPhones. And
yeah. I'm asking this as a question. I'm pretty sure this is correct. Don't tariffs have to be approved by Congress?
No, I don't think so. I think that's a function of the presidency.
I don't think it is. I think
Evidently it is.
they can do it, but I think they have to eventually get approval from Congress, don't they?
I don't know. That's a Brad Young question. Pretty sure it's a presidential thing, though. I think if someone went ape crap crazy, you could use the 25th Amendment to rein them in. But other than that, I think it's pretty much the chief executives to do. Look at us talking real
Okay,
stuff.
so apparently the presidency has the power to do it under specific conditions outlined by Congress. But Congress ultimately retains the power to regulate foreign commerce and impose tariffs.
There's no Congress.
No, that's true.
There's just no.
They have stepped away from the
as
table.
As close as you can get to them not being a body, that's what it is.
Rhino Shield is engineered to outlast paint by a lot, backed with our 25-year transferable warranty. Paint a house, shield a home. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, steel, aluminum, cedar, and more. We are the only coating company selected by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where all 3 episodes concentrate on unpainted brick. If you maintain or own a business with a tired-looking building, you owe it to yourself to look at Rhino Shield and our beautifully durable color schemes. Evaluations are free. We're making buildings pop and be noticed again, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks, exceeding expectations every day with our products, people, and performance. Now is the time to call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or go to 877-25rhino.com and see how honest and transparent we really are. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Whoopah! The most mouth-watering event of the year is back. Join us this Memorial Day weekend, May 23rd through the 26th for the St. Louis County Greek Fest and Assumption Greek Orthodox Church. Enjoy authentic Greek food, lively music, dancing, and church tours. Credit cards only. Visit stlgreekfest.com for full details.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
If you are a shelter insurance policyholder and have damage to your home, car, farm, or business due to the recent storms, please call 1-800-SHELTER. That's toll free 1-800-743-5837 or report your claim online at shelterinsurance.com. Early reporting of your loss will help Shelter schedule adjusters to handle your claim. Take whatever reasonable steps you can to protect your property from additional damage and call 1-800-SHELTER to report your claim today.
When we started Neovitin back in 2009, we wanted to create a multivitamin that we would take ourselves. That's why we use quality ingredients in our Neovitin Original Formula multivitamin. With over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our physician-formulated proprietary blend, you can be sure you are getting the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitin Original Formula multivitamin a try for yourself. Find it at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
Welcome back, DGS on KMOX. Happy Friday, 148. So you actually rode in a driverless car?
Waymo.
Oh, he went
Waymo
Waymo
was.
mode.
I went Waymo'd. It was terrible.
Yeah,
It was great. It was terrible because it was great. It was terrible because it worked well. I didn't know these. I saw this crazy car while I was driving around LA, and it had these like sensors all over it, and there was like a guy driving it, but he wasn't touching anything, and it had this weird like coloring to it and stuff. So I followed him for a while. You know, I stalked him. You know, I banged on his window. Hey, no, I managed to figure out that it was a test for a driverless car. And I was like, oh, they have driverless cars out here. And my brother was like, yeah, Waymos, they're everywhere. It's Uber without a driver. And it's completely insane. So I signed up for the app, and you click on it. So they just drive around the city until somebody needs them. So they just randomly just kind of cruise in whatever direction. So when you say that you want to be picked up, maybe this isn't always the experience. It told me it was going to take them 15 minutes to get to me. Now, the place I wanted to go was like a less than 10-minute walk. But I wanted to do this because I'm like, show content. It was also more expensive. To go like less than half a mile, it was $15, which I thought was completely insane compared to what an Uber would be. I mean, Uber would be like, why are you even Ubering? It's less than half a mile. So I waited. I got picked up. It tells you it's going to stop. It basically tells you, listen, we're going to stop this car in the middle of the street, and you got to get in it. And if you don't get in it within 60 seconds, it's just going to take off in your SOL. So I, found it, ran towards it. Was a Jaguar. I think they're all Jaguars. Whoa. So that was kind of nice. I mean, you get in, it's totally like spotless inside. You can't sit in the driver's seat. You can sit anywhere else you want, but you can't sit in
I would never even consider it.
The driver's seat.
You're like, hold on, I want to drive.
Yeah, I was like, well, let me sit in the driver's seat at least. And it was like, no, you can't. Nobody can sit in the driver's seat. A little lady's voice comes on the thing that's like, here's what's going to happen. You're going to put on your seatbelt, and we're going to take you to your destination. And when you're ready to go and stop blocking traffic anymore, you hit this button right here. So I hit the button, and we were off. It was playing like some delightful, Tropicalia style music. I think I could have changed it to something, but I didn't. I was too terrified to think about like music at that moment. And the wheel turns itself, which I really hated. I didn't look at the pedals to see if the pedals like push like this, but the wheel turns as if, someone is driving it, but it's just a complete AI program. It drives using sensors that are like all over the car to sense, and you can see what it sees. So you can see that it's like detecting cars over here and it's detecting pedestrians over there or whatever. But I don't like it. I think this turn towards automated cars is a bad idea. I think it's going to get people hurt. There has been one Waymo related fatality. I think it was I think I looked up San Francisco. Sounds right. That there was a huge crash involving a Waymo where somebody died. I think in general, there was a story that I saw a couple weeks ago about driverless semis. I think that's extremely dangerous. I think if a semi does one bad move, it can kill like a whole family, and I don't care for that. I mean, the driverless Jaguar sedan is bad enough to me. It bothered me how well everything worked, because it made me think that it's just going to catch on more.
Yeah.
I also don't like that it was way more, Waymo, I should say, difficult to work than an Uber, in that Uber's like, all right, your driver's 2 minutes away and he's going to drive you. It's going to take it's going to take no time. It's going to cost you, $6 or whatever. And this was like 15-minute wait and cost $15 to go less than half a mile. I thought that was pretty unconscionable. I think if you're automating this process, the savings that you have on that sort of labor should be passed down to the consumer. I shouldn't have to pay
a Jaguar.
Well, that's the thing. I shouldn't have. If you're not even employing a driver, I shouldn't have to pay more. If anything, I should pay less, because you're not having to pay any labor costs.
But you're in a Jaguar.
But nobody asked me a tip. That was nice.
3 times the cost of the other cars. That
I didn't ask for it to be a Jaguar.
No,
I didn't request it. I didn't say send me a Jaguar. I said get me. I'm pretty sure they're all Jaguars.
Yeah, I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying that's what
my brother took one last night to go to dinner with his new brother-in-law and his girlfriend, and they took a Waymo, and it was also a Jaguar. So I think they're just all Jaguars.
That word sounds crazy the more you say it.
Jaguar? Yeah.
Yeah. Jaguar.
Jaguar.
I don't know. Jury's out.
What do you think? Would you do one? Because I didn't want to do it. I only did it for show content. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I got to do this.
I would be uncomfortable doing one on a highway. You can get just as dead downtown, but only getting up to downtown speeds, I would feel much better about a fender bender than being out on the highway.
They are only in a few places and a few cities right now. Like they're in LA, but they're only in like the city center of LA. So I don't know if they can. I don't know if they go on the freeway yet or anything. But I agree with that. I would be a lot more concerned having a fake AI thing navigate.
I doubt we have to worry about it much here, since there's no one to get in them.
There's not much to run into either, right?
Yeah, nothing to run into, nobody to ride in.
We already got people downtown that don't follow signals, so how's it different than that?
And they would need to develop like special pothole LiDAR for
Yes.
those cars.
Here? Oh my God, yeah.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan, along with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center. Doctor, when should somebody typically get a hearing evaluation?
You know, Charlie, the simple answer to that would be at age 65. However, there are some contributing factors that might make people more at risk for hearing loss. Some people with a history of noise exposure or a family history of hearing loss, or those suffering from tinnitus. Those people should come in to have their hearing evaluated at age 60. And of course, anyone noticing difficulty hearing or ringing in the ears should come in as soon as they notice these changes.
That's the word from Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center with 3 convenient locations: Florissant, St. Peter's, and Creve Coeur. Schedule an appointment today by calling 636-441-7470 or the Audiology Center STL.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Cardinal Cowboy here. Years ago, doctors said I'd never be independent after a bad car accident. Well, I proved them wrong. When proving who's the best in garage doors, Renner does it every time. Whether it's service or a new door, you're covered with top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster. Keep your garage door running strong with Renner's $100 maintenance check, or get a free replacement quote. Call or click RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing.
Not available in all states. Rates vary. Building a financial safety net for your family can be tough, but with term life insurance through Ethos, you can have peace of mind that they can pay the mortgage and other bills if something happens to you. With coverage in as little as 10 minutes, all online, Ethos finds your best rate across our multiple trusted carriers. Some policies as low as $1 a day billed monthly. And even in uncertain times, your term life insurance rates and payout don't change. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
The Peace Lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car?
You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 2 o'clock, we've got sunshine. It is 70 degrees downtown at the Arch. President Trump has approved 2 major disaster declarations for Missouri to get federal aid, according to Senator Josh Hawley. The federal aid is for recovery and rebuilding from the storms in March and April. Hawley is calling on the president to give federal assistance also after last Friday's deadly tornado. The senator was in town on Monday to survey the damage. Highway departments on both sides of the river are suspending work before the holiday weekend.
They'll pick it back up on Tuesday, 6 a.m. for the Missouri side, and at midnight Tuesday morning on the Illinois side. Don't forget, if you're headed down to Lake of the Ozarks, Highway 54 is down to 1 lane in each direction with only a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit south of 50 between Missouri and Stadium Boulevards. Roger Brand, KMOX News.
If you drive I-55 near River de Pere, get ready for a big change starting next week. MoDOT will shift all traffic to the northbound lanes in 2 phases. First, the northbound drivers move back to their usual side after the morning rush starting Thursday. Then by Monday, June 2nd, southbound drivers will also shift over, sharing the northbound lanes. Tom Evers is a district engineer for MoDOT.
After the shift, then the crews will start rehabilitating the last 2 bridges on the project, the southbound I-55 bridges over the Union Pacific Railroad and also over Colne Avenue.
2 lanes will stay open in each direction during the project. It's all part of the $63 million bridge rehab work that's wrapping up its final phase. Many have concerns about air traffic control issues at airports, including Denver, where the FAA confirmed pilots were unable to communicate with the tower for 2 minutes earlier this month. CBS News Colorado reporter Justin Adams is there.
At Denver International Airport, there's just a constant flow of individuals moving through the airport looking to go and get through the TSA checkpoints just to be able to get to their flights on time. And this is one of the busier days that we're expecting at Denver International Airport. They're expecting today and Memorial Day to be the 2 busiest days.
245 years ago, a battle took place in St. Louis.
This is Stuart McMillan at the historical marker at Walnut and Broadway, commemorating the Battle of St. Louis. It was a Revolutionary War skirmish that on May 26, 1780, British-led forces made up of Native Americans, Kickapoo, Sioux, and Chippewa collectively attacked the Spanish settlement of St. Louis, and the goal was to contain control of the Mississippi River, which failed. Lieutenant Governor Fernando de Leyva took about 320 untrained Spanish and French frontiersmen along with free black and enslaved people and held off 1,000 attackers at Fort San Carlos, which was set up about where the old cathedral stands today in the shadow of the arch.
A famed musician is taking a break as he deals with health concerns.
Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Billy Joel is canceling all of his scheduled concerts. The 76-year-old piano man has revealed on social media that he's being treated for a condition that involves a buildup of fluid in the brain that can cause neurological symptoms. Joel says he's been dealing with hearing, vision, and balance issues. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
From the KMOX Business Desk, a rare bright spot for the housing market in 2025. Jason Brooks has the details.
New home sales unexpectedly surged higher by nearly 11% in April from the previous month and were up more than 3% compared to a year earlier. That occurred while existing home sales experienced the weakest April in 16 years. The median new home sale price increased from March to just over $407,000, which was slightly below the year-ago level. New home supplies were down 11% in April.
Freddie Mac reported that long-term mortgage rates rose slightly this week to 6.86%. The Dow from Stifel down 142 points to 41,716. We've got a stalled vehicle 6440 east at Grand. That's got the right lane closed. To stall 70 east at Zumble. Just got all the lanes open there.
Oh, what a great way to kick off the long holiday weekend. It's a beautiful Friday afternoon. Sunshine in control, 71 for the high. More and more clouds take over tonight. Couple of showers well after midnight. Evening's fine. 55 for the low. Saturday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. Couple of showers, but a lot of dry time on Saturday. 68 for the high. Sunday and Monday, clouds with scattered showers, couple of non-severe thunderstorms. Both days cool. 64 for the high Sunday and again on Monday. Again, it's not a washout of a weekend, but we'll keep an eye on the sky. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
We've got sunshine downtown at the Arch, 70 degrees. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 1041 FM KMOX. Happy holiday Friday. Anyone going out of town? Any big plans? Nothing?
Nah, nothing big.
Coaching.
Man, you would think that today was a holiday too, because there is nobody in this
here.
building.
Yeah.
There were so many options to park whenever I pulled into the garage.
I pulled
this
in. I'm
morning.
like, oh,
I
look
just
at that.
started laughing.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, people probably did tack this day on to the, you know.
Yeah.
At least I want to believe that
Yeah.
that's the case. Some people are like, I don't need to do anything today.
So, Rach, you have a hot take on the porn industry?
I do. I keep seeing kind of this new generation of porn actresses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say anybody's name, but we might all know their names because they like to have relations with many men in one day.
Gotcha.
Right? You know who I'm talking
I'm
about?
tracking. Yeah.
I see this content on not just Twitter. I kind of expect it from Twitter, or X rather. The algorithm has already dragged me into this spot. I'm going to have a hard time getting out at this point, right? But on Instagram, there is no reason that I should be seeing stuff like this in my explore page, but I see it all the time. And I can't help but think about the fact that there's an Instagram for teens and there are 12-year-olds on Instagram, and they're probably seeing the exact same content that I'm seeing. And what it is it's these porn actresses going on podcasts and presenting their lifestyle as a totally valid, normal, appealing, like this is a path you can take, and here's all the money I'm making, and here's why I'm so happy, and here's why I love what I do. Look, ladies, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you're having a good time. But to present this as if it's like, this is totally normal, girls. Hey, 11-year-old who just got your first ever Instagram, take a look at this content. This is what you could grow up to be. I find it so wildly inappropriate. And I just feel like we need better boundaries when it comes to social media and then that side of the internet. We have to be keeping these things separate. And I think it should be like a two-pronged approach. I think we need to personally be shunning this type of content. Like when I see it, I should be reporting it. And like, I don't want to see this. Get this away from me. Don't get sucked in. Don't watch how ridiculous it is, because that's how they get you, is that it's ridiculous and it's over the top and it's meant to provoke you and make you feel a certain type of way, a lot of times outraged. We have to resist the urge to be like, what? What did they say? I have to learn more. But then these social media platforms have to take a stand and be like, sorry, we don't platform you when it comes to pornography. We don't do pornography on Instagram. We don't do pornography on Twitter. We don't do pornography on Facebook. If you are in the porn industry, you can't promote your podcast here. I mean, is that crazy of me to say? Is that an infringement on free speech or what? I just feel like we're going to a really weird place where something that used to be kept quite separate from polite society is now just mingling in and becoming so accepted and so normalized. And I can't be the only one who finds that troubling.
I mean, first of all, there's no First Amendment issue because these are private companies. So we can tell them. I mean, the government could tell, not government, but these companies could simply say, we're not doing this. But they don't. And look at Twitter. Twitter didn't used to have adult content anywhere.
Yeah.
Now they do because Elon. Because he's just like, whatever, I don't care. Just put it on there and it'll just show up randomly. And it sometimes it's like ads for OnlyFans people or it's things like that. Other times it's just sex toys. Like just ads for that sitting there, right? And it's ads for everything. They're literally every time you look at a set of replies to a post, there are going to be some ads on there for something. And they're always bots. It's a bot 100,000% of the time. And there's no desire to police it.
Mm-hmm.
None whatsoever. And I don't know what anybody can do about it because it's the internet. So it's not like radio, right? It's not like broadcast TV where there are actual laws about what you can and can't put out there.
And that's the thing that gets me so frustrated is because I can't say what I actually want to say. I can't tell you guys what I actually see on a platform like Instagram and the things that are being said on these podcasts and just distributed and anyone has access to it. If I said that, I'm pretty sure I would get fired from KMOX. Seriously. If I were, even though it's not necessarily violating the FCC, but if I were to just repeat the things that these people are saying, there would be no home for me on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, so why do you get to do it there?
Mm-hmm.
Where like I don't think there's that many 8-year-olds listening to the Dave Glover show on KMOX right now unsupervised, right? Like, but how many of them have a smartphone and can pop open an app and just, oh, this is normal. This is how all 22-year-old girls act, right?
Is it, real question, is it the fact of the porn or is it the type that we're talking about?
It's the fact that these porn stars are able to, like, whenever I was growing up, whenever I was a teenager in my early 20s, it was like that person does porn and that's all they do. Now they make a day in the life video with the porn stuff sprinkled in, and these companies just platform it as if it's just totally normal and okay.
And what about if the response was, you have no right to shame me for what I am doing that is perfectly legal and consensual?
I mean, I guess that's one way to approach it. I feel like we are going down a really stupid path if we can't shame people over this stuff, though.
Interesting.
Like, if you can't say, like, hey, you know what? Not in front of the kids.
Really, you can't do that stuff in public.
I'm not allowed to say that. I'm not allowed to be like, I don't think this is appropriate for the mainstream internet. I don't think it's appropriate for me to flip on CBS tonight and see this kind of content. So I don't think it should be up on Instagram, right?
And it should mostly be, it should be automatic that you can have settings that block anything like that.
Yeah.
Right? I should be able to go on Twitter as an example and say, here are the things I don't want to see. I don't want to see. I mean, the problem is, though, that those are all revenue sources for these services, which is why they don't care. They're making money doing it. Like those are ads. Those are being paid for. And that's where their response is going to be, why would I lose money just because you don't want to see something? Just scroll past it is what they're going to tell me, which is fine. I can scroll past it. I don't care. I do. I just like, well, that's terrible. But as Rach points out, there are a lot of people that are underage that are on all of these social media apps.
The thing is, though, because the only thing I have is TikTok. And my understanding is if you look at something for even a few seconds, it goes, okay, he's into it. Some of these things are very difficult to not look at for 5 seconds.
You're just trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah. And I'm not talking about like, oh, look, it's nipples. I'm talking about like a story.
Right.
And you're like,
Right.
am I hearing is this real?
Right.
Does this
Right.
person really do what she said that she did? Because that's craziness. And the next thing you know, you're getting more of it.
Yeah. And if at any point you guys think I shouldn't be saying this, just stop me. But the thing that really set me off about this was a couple weeks ago, this one particular porn star was making this content with a girl who had just turned 18. We all know that's a genre, right? That's a very sought after genre in that industry.
Yep.
And the videos they were making were like, I'm going to teach her how to be just like me. And it was so explicit. It was so ridiculous. Things were being said. If you saw it on a porn site, okay, you're in that area. So it's like, all right, I'm not trying to police the speech there, but to just be saying it in polite society, it's far too much. And it really bothered me that they were playing on the like, she's barely legal. She's so innocent. She has no clue what's going on, but I'm going to show her. And then it's just like on your Instagram feed, it just, maybe I'm just getting older. Maybe I'm just a prude. Maybe I'm way too uptight. Fine. Call me whatever you want. I don't think we should be mixing these things the way we are. Like, I get that it's the internet, but Meta bought Instagram in 2012, whenever it was, and you're supposed to be like family friendly to an extent. They don't let you just post nudity. They don't let you just post other bad things. So why do you get to flirt with it so heavily? And like, you get to do everything but the actual act. Like, I just don't think it's appropriate at all. And it just becomes so normalized that it's like, I'm going to have these girls on my podcast and we're going to talk it out. And it's like, okay, fine if you want to do that. But then you're taking the extra step of uploading it to Instagram where it's getting mixed in with like people's family photos. I just think we're going crazy.
Well, that's the ultimate issue, I think, is that this has become extreme, especially for the youth of America. This has become extremely mainstream.
Yeah.
It's become, sex work has become a very, very mainstream thing.
And
And while I am supportive of that,
it shouldn't be wrong.
of sex work, I'm not supportive necessarily of it being mainstream to the point where this exploitation is just becoming like, it's just how, people who are in their teens and like early 20s are just consuming the world
You
through
should expect
pornography.
to be exploited.
Yes, you're consuming the world through exploitation and pornography, and that I think is not great. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, and you shouldn't be shamed to say that, and you also shouldn't have to be a holy roller to say that.
Right.
I'm not a religious person, but if you have some woman saying like, "Oh yeah, I just did this with 1,000 men," I don't think that that's appropriate. That to me is a separate bridge. and again, maybe now I'm the prude. But you get to be a prude, if that's what it's called in 2025, if you don't want to see content about someone having 1,000 partners.
I just think we need to be more discerning. The media needs to be more discerning. There's a reason I'm not saying the names of these people I'm talking about right now, because I really, if you've been fortunate enough
to avoid
it, I don't really want you to go Google it. I don't want to give them more clicks. I mean, let them make their money, whatever. But it has no place on KMOX. So why does it have a place on an app that they're literally redesigning to make it more friendly towards children?
I don't want to make this about Trump, because what a far stretch that is. But we all know that there have been several stories of things that Trump has said that we couldn't say
we
on
couldn't
KMOX.
say it.
So what does that tell you about society when the president of the United States is saying things that we will get fired for saying on KMOX?
Yeah. Well, we also have, I think we also have a little bit of misplaced rage when it comes to parents wanting to protect kids, which I think is great, but you're fighting the wrong fights. You're worried about what outfit is in a Target, or you're worried about what's at a library. Your kid's phone has it all.
Yeah, good point.
And you can say,
especially the library thing.
I mean, so like, again, I'm not saying that there aren't problems outside of this, but this is the big one. Your kids have phones. They have phones when you're not supervising them. Those phones are connected to the internet. And even if you think it's only Instagram, it's only Facebook, it's only Twitter, it's there. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worse than anything you're going to get in any other places that you're outraged about.
Yeah.
You should be way more outraged about this.
Yeah.
Because this is going to reach your kid.
Yeah.
If your kid is 12, 13, 14, it is absolutely reaching them.
Yeah.
And I just think it's sad that, like, we even have to have this conversation, and I have to put so many disclaimers on it where it's like, look, I don't want to make anybody upset. Like, no, we should just be able to be like, this is gross. Don't do that. Keep it to yourself. Keep it in an appropriate place in the spaces you've created for this. Don't bring it into real life. We don't want this in real life.
I don't know who I'm talking about when I say this. I don't know what person, group of people, or groups have so successfully done this. But when you're afraid as a 60-year-old normal person to say on the radio, I think it's wrong when people sleep with 1,000 people in a day, and you're worried about the backlash, they have been so successful at this campaign of normalizing it.
Oh, yeah.
When we're worried that we're going to be the bad guys for saying maybe little girls shouldn't be seeing this sort of content.
And it just makes you wonder, like, we fought so hard for feminism and putting women on equal footing with men, right? But how did we end up at this place where it's like the message seems to be coming from so many different places that the ultimate way to empower yourself is to become a sex object for men?
The supreme way.
That's the
as long as you do it
way.
on your terms, then you're at the highest level of.
That can't be the path for everybody. Again, it works for some people. For some people, they're very happy in that lifestyle, and good for you. Like, go ahead. But why are we as a society selling it as like, this is your path to happiness? It's not. It's not going to work out for the vast majority of people who try to make
do you
this
think
happen.
the vast majority of men are out there going like, well, you got us on this one, boy? No, they're just partaking in all this stuff that's just out there in the mainstream now.
Yeah.
To me, society has never been more sexualized. It's never been easier to see something, and it's never been harder to avoid.
Yeah.
Oh, that part's hard to. That you can't argue that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Ophthalmology Associates. Never prouder.
Sorry, guys.
The Cornea and Laser Vision Institute. These are the doctors. I thought before I was doing live endorsements for them now the past couple of years that it was just really clever marketing. Oh, the doctors. That's so great. What a turn of a phrase. I way to go. I tip my hat to you. And then when I met them and met my doctor, Dr. Birdie, he's like, no, we have about 250 doctors who come here at any given time, about 250 on our patient list, local, regional, even national. And the meaning there being not that they're more important as human beings, but their eyesight is critically important to their patients, and lives can be lost if they can't see. And so they're going to do anything they need to do to get the very best eye care. 250 of them have decided that the best that they can do is right here in St. Louis at Ophthalmology Associates. I was in for my comprehensive exam about 6 months ago now, and it's just that. It's very comprehensive, very comfortable, no pain, no, doesn't take you forever. And then you're going to sit down with a doctor. Many times it's going to be an eye surgeon like Dr. Birdie or Malhotra, and they're going to walk you through, here's your eye health. If there's anything sinister to find with you, your kids, your elderly loved ones, they're going to find it. If you are interested in LASIK or cataract surgery, we're the place to come to. 314-966-5000, youridoc.com.
I'm Emma Greed, and I've spent the last 20 years building, running, and investing in some incredible businesses. The more success I've had, the more people started coming to me with questions. How do you start a business? How do you raise money? How do I bounce back from failure? On my new podcast, Aspire with Emma Greed, I'll be answering these questions and more through weekly conversations with the smartest minds out there. Listen to and follow Aspire with Emma Greed, an Odyssey podcast available now, wherever you get your podcasts.
I really need funding to expand my inventory.
Swish Funding can help you expand inventory, upgrade equipment, and boost your cash flow.
Well, okay, but I need funding fast.
Swish Funding provides funding from $25,000 to $2 million with payment terms tailored to your needs and cash in your account in less than 24 hours.
So what's the catch?
No catch. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000, you could qualify. Just go to swishfunding.com to apply. That's swishfunding.com.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. An accredited state university, University of Maryland Global Campus offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Mizzou football is here to stay. After an undefeated home season and a second straight 10-win year, the Tigers are looking for more in 2025.
Eli and the boys have done it again.
With a top 10 transfer portal class and a strong home schedule highlighted by Kansas, Alabama, South Carolina, and Texas A&M, you don't want to miss out. Get your spot in line by joining the season ticket waitlist at mutigers.com/FB waitlist. MIZ.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Show, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
It's not too late for a deep spring cleaning on your home. Give my friends at Zero Res a call today. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and tell them that Dave Glover sent you.
KMOX is now on 104.1 FM, the same great station with even better sound.
Welcome back, DGS on KMOX. Happy Friday. Hope you all have a great holiday weekend. So, Wheels, you're ready for the boomers to step aside?
I mean, in politics, not in life. I want my parents around for a while longer.
Had enough time here.
No, it's just I know we've talked about it a bit, but it stays in the news because you saw the other day Jerry Connolly passed away, and he's a representative from Virginia. And he announced a couple of days after he was reelected that he had esophageal cancer. And we've had now, I think, 3 different members of Congress pass away just since the beginning of March. And I think there have been 6 or 7 in the last year and a half. And at some point, doesn't the next group get a chance? Like, where are the Gen X leaders in national politics? Now, maybe some getting in there, right? Like J.D. Vance is the vice president. He fits into that. There are others in there, but it's fascinating to me that we continue to do this over and over and over again, and it's becoming a bigger and bigger problem. If Joe Biden had been reelected, forget mental state and all of that, he's now got a very serious cancer, and that would be the president of the United States. And it's not about just age, right? It's just that things change fast when you're older. And I'm 53. They change faster for me now than they did 20 years ago. And it's going to be me, hopefully, at some point, right? I hope I'm the 75-year-old or the 80-year-old. But it's like you always talk about, Dave, with the rich guys. At what point do you're good. You've done your job. You've done your duty. Go live life. Go have fun. But it's clearly not going to happen because clearly they stay. I mean, we've had people. There was one of the members of Congress that passed away in March. I don't think made a single vote last year because of illness, because he wasn't there. And we continue to do this. And the problem is the people that are entrenched in a position have such an advantage in fundraising and winning the election because of that.
Yeah.
Because so many of these are safe districts.
Yeah.
The party's going to win, right? Like the Democrats are going to win this area and the Republicans, they're going to win this one. It's not that there's even a challenge that you're going to lose, the party's going to lose. It's that you just feel like, I don't know, is this kind of back to that same thing where you're like main character syndrome? Like you're the only one that can do this the right way. But I feel like that's too much of the attitude of that generation of politicians. That we can do things, but man, those younger whippersnappers, even though they're in their 50s now, aren't going to be able to do the job, so we need to do it.
I just think we're kidding ourselves when we say there's no royalty in America. There obviously is. You can reach that status by being elected to the federal government. And just like we're seeing, I mean, I hate to keep drawing parallels to this, but like just like the stupid workshop, it's like, why was that happening? Like, why do you not have to answer to anyone on this? Why can you go a year without voting and still get to retain your position in the federal government? It makes no sense. If I don't show up to if I don't press the buttons and make sure the spots play and turn on my mic, I get fired.
Especially
if I don't fulfill the duties of my job, I get let go.
We just went through Doge sending out fake letters to people saying that our review of your performance has been subpar,
right,
when they could show all their performances and they were excellent. It's easy to fire those kinds of people.
Yeah, real easy.
Yeah.
In the aftermath of a devastating tornado, your generosity has made a real difference. Thanks to donors like you, the Red Cross is providing shelter, meals, and hope to families in crisis. But the need isn't over. Please, if you can, give today. Every dollar helps deliver critical relief and comfort when it's needed most. And every dollar stays right here in St. Louis. Visit KMOX.com/Red Cross to donate now.
Lifestyles Unlimited member Lisa appreciates having mentors who have her back.
Having the faith to move forward, and y'all have everything provided. I could call a mentor and say, hey, I don't know what to do. Someone is always there to guide you. I have backup.
Lifestyles Unlimited, over 33 years teaching the real estate retirement roadmap. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Join now for $297, a 60% savings. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007.
I met my wife in law school at the University of Florida. She was from upstate New York and I was from Kentucky. We met at a daily mass at St. Augustine's. She was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. After communion, I followed her out of the church and got her phone number. The rest is history. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Little did we know that one day we would have 4 children and the largest injury firm in the world. All 4 work in the business. It's a family business. Did I ever see this coming? Hell no. We just worked very hard and treated our clients like we would want to be treated, like family. It's a full-service injury firm, auto accidents, medical malpractice, workers' compensation, Social Security, and insurance disputes. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit forthepeople.com and we can get to work on your case. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Dave Murray's forecast is brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning and Electrical.
Oh, what a great way to kick off the long holiday weekend. It's a beautiful Friday afternoon. Sunshine in control, 71 for the high. More and more clouds take over tonight. Couple of showers well after midnight. Evening's fine. 55 for the low. Saturday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. Couple of showers, but a lot of dry time on Saturday. 68 for the high. Sunday and Monday, clouds with scattered showers, couple of non-severe thunderstorms. Both days cool. 64 for the high Sunday and again on Monday. Again, it's not a washout of a weekend, but we'll keep an eye on the sky. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
While you might not give a hoot about this week's space launch, you sure as sunshine care when your AC goes down. Well, good news, a Jerry Kelly per-producing tune-up is just 98 smackers right this very moment. $98.
JerryKelly.com. Hi, I'm Andrew Suntrup. For over 30 years, St. Louis and St. Charles families have trusted Suntrup Buick GMC. As a proud family-owned dealership, we offer more than just great deals. We offer peace of mind. At Suntrup Buick GMC, you'll always find a huge selection of inventory to choose from, unmatched customer service, and every vehicle comes with our exclusive lifetime powertrain protection program. Visit in store or online at suntrupbuickgmc.com. Save more at Suntrup Buick GMC.
It's been more than 60 years since St. Louis was hit by a tornado of the scale we're witnessing. The Salvation Army has been in St. Louis providing relief for over 160 years and responded immediately following the latest round of storms. How can you help? The Salvation Army needs monetary donations so that needs can be addressed immediately. And as we look to long-term recovery, 100% of donations go directly to storm survivors. Donate at salrmy.us/mid-disaster or call 1-800-SAL-ARMY.
Cards manager Ollie Marmol joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Bernie's segment is sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Dicon comfort dealer.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. Happy Friday to you. Big holiday weekend coming up. Bernie Miklasz joins us now. Hello, Bern.
What's going on, DG?
So 2 nights ago, at the behest of my baseball-obsessed son, for the very first time in my life, I started watching Ken Burns' baseball documentary.
Yeah.
It is so amazing. It is fantastic. It is like reigniting my love of baseball and just so many things I didn't know, and I'm learning so much, and so I'm really enjoying that.
I loved it. I still do. I mean, I watch parts of it every now and then. You know, I thought the older stuff was the best stuff, simply for selfish reasons, because that's the stuff I didn't know enough about, or not as much as I wanted to know.
Yeah.
And you know, there are things that people through the years have nitpicked about it, but listen, when you're trying to do something that has such a massive sweep of baseball history, you're not going to give everything the proper time maybe that it deserves. So, like I know in St. Louis, people were a little ticked off. They thought Stan the Man Musial got a little bit of a short treatment there. He probably did. But Ken Burns is excellent what he does, and I love that. So yeah, I feel you when you tell me how much you're enjoying it.
Yeah, it's like someone who's never watched Breaking Bad or someone who's never watched The Godfather. I'm just like, is anyone else seeing this? And why isn't everyone watching this?
I might have to go back and watch like the early episodes that you're talking about, Bern, because those are the ones that are just, they're so far removed from our lives that you feel like, I felt like even though I read books and I learned all that stuff because I was a nerdy kid, that's like what stuff I like to read. It's not the same as seeing it in that context.
Yeah, I think and don't get me wrong, it's not like once he got to say the 1980s, I didn't like it. I liked it.
Yeah, same.
But
same.
I really love this stuff from the start of baseball time through say the 1970s, you know, and it's because of what you just said. You know, the rest of the stuff, I was like an adult baseball fan, so I didn't really need to learn more about that time because I lived through that time.
Specific question for you guys. I listened to both of you on your various outlets, and I understand most of it. One thing I've not really heard someone address, though, because Wheels, you have talked many times on this show and others about how Aaron Judge was like 24 when he came up the first time.
25 his first full season.
Right.
Yeah.
So why is it so paramount that Jordan Walker figure out his at-bats at the big league level? Because in my mind, it seems perfect to be doing that at the AAA level and let someone maybe like Sajaci, who's a little more ready for the big leagues, to come up.
Go ahead, Wheels.
Well, I think a couple things. I mean, one, you're talking about some things, some of these lessons can't be learned in the minors.
Okay.
Because minor league pitchers aren't as good as major league pitchers. So they'll make more mistakes and you'll think that you're having success that probably doesn't necessarily translate to the major league level. So there's partly that. And I think there's also that you're worried about the psychology of a player at some point too, right? Where you've already done the up and down and up and down and up and down. And do you want them getting back into that same mindset, or do you just want them to focus on doing work, knowing they don't have to look over their shoulder, which is kind of what they've done with a lot of the young guys this year, right? It's don't look over your shoulder. You're not going anywhere. Matthew Liberatore, you're not going down. You're not coming out of the rotation. And sometimes having that knowledge that you're not going to be going back to Memphis and you're not going to be riding the bus back and forth can just allow you to focus on the work that you're doing. But no, there's also the counterpoint to it that, heck, even doing things, just playing full time can be good enough. And I think it's a difficult balance because there's an argument to be made that maybe Walker could go down for a period of time and then come back. So here's all the stuff we're working on. Hard to get you at bats right now, buddy, because Herrera's our DH and he's killing it, and Burleson's out hitting you. So it's hard to get you the at bats. Do this for a month and we'll see you then. But that's where they're going to be also talking about the mental side of it, the psychological side of it.
Yeah, I mean, I would be fired, but I would send down Gorman and Walker and let the guys who are producing really have a shot at it. Let those guys get at bats and play in the field every single day. But then again, what do I know? Go ahead, Bern.
I think the Judge and Walker comparison is interesting because they're also both very tall, big guys, and sometimes there's a lot going on with their swings. So it takes sometimes these really tall guys. They're all arms and legs. It takes them a while to kind of get everything synced up. But the other thing about Judge, he played college baseball. Jordan Walker didn't. He went right from high school. Judge also had, if you put his college at bats and his college plate appearances and minor league, college and minor league plate appearances together, you're talking about 2,200 plate appearances. Walker's had 1,400.
Right.
So Judge spent a lot of time in the minors because I think it was part of it was a little bit of a different time. I think prospects are now rushed to the majors at a faster schedule than they were then, and the Yankees probably had a lot of talent. They were in no rush with him, whereas the Cardinals have more of an urgent need for Jordan Walker to come through.
Yeah, I think there's no question about that. But and back to the current setting, I think we could make a really good argument that you don't have better bench options at Memphis than Gorman and Walker. So if they're going to be part-time players here and bench players here, they might as well be two of the most talented guys that can hit the ball over the fence. From a competitive standpoint, as I like Sajasi a lot, but Sajasi's never done in the minors what Nolan Gorman did in the minors. He's never done in the minors what Nolan Gorman's done in the majors. I mean, Nolan Gorman's got a 27 home run season under his belt. And that was a good all-around year. So if you're looking just at the quality of the major league team, you're probably a more talented major league team and therefore a little bit better able to adapt on a day-to-day team for trying to win. But most teams just don't want those kinds of players playing part-time. But right now, I think that's the only real good choice.
And I think Sajasi's going to be a good player, a useful player. And I do realize, he's had, 32 major league games. He's hit 267, a 302 on base, 400 slug. Those are okay numbers, but they don't jump off the page. The other thing, too, you're only talking about, basically 90 at-bats in the big leagues. That can kind of be like Bo Hart territory. And I don't know how many Cardinals remember him. No, every now and then a dude comes up from the minor leagues and just goes totally nuts for like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. And then he sort of finds his own level again. So with all due respect to my good friend Dave Glover, I don't know that I would get overly excited about Sajasi just yet. I think Will's a good point. You're sort of making a bet here. Who is going to help you more long term? If you invest in Gorman or Walker, and at least one of those guys breaks through, maybe both of those guys break through, but you got to give it more time. That's what this season's supposed to be all about. I would give them both more time because they have a lot more upside than anyone that is at AAA for the Cardinals.
Yeah, there's also the other interesting part, too, in just this specific setup. One's right-handed, one's left-handed. And if you're looking at trying to balance out a bench, ideally, you've got a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah.
And I'm not – because the only lefty outfielder bat that you would bring up would probably be Siani, and that's not a bat. That's just a glove. So if you're trying to keep some offensive, some thunder late in case you want a pinch hitting, or when you do give somebody a day off, right? If you give Arenado a day off, Donovan a day off, whoever, Burleson, the person stepping in is still at least dangerous, right? There's still that chance they could leave the yard, even if they're not necessarily doing it on a regular basis.
See, we got to be careful with like minor league stats, and we got to be careful with guys that come up and do really well for a brief time. For example, you guys will both remember in spring training, towards the end of spring training, people were fussing. There were people ticked off. People were saying, "Why don't they give this Matt Koperniak a chance? This is unfair. Why don't they give?" Well, maybe because the dude, after 136 at bats in AAA this year, he's hitting 184 and slugging 257. That might be why. Because you can be easily fooled by spring training. That's all I'm trying to say.
And we could make a good argument, Bernie and Dave, that the Cardinals got fooled by Jordan Walker's big spring. And despite his lack of experience in the outfield and despite the lack of at-bats that you pointed out, Bern, compared to a guy like Aaron Judge who came out of college, the more prudent decision might have been to not fall for the excitement and not worry about criticism, although they did need a bat. I mean, like, that's been the problem. And, when you're looking at one of the recent, these recent years for the Cardinals, they haven't always been able to make the best decision because they've been missing something, they've been lacking something, and they're trying to maybe hope a little bit for a 21-year-old to catch fire, as opposed to being like, nah, he needs to go play outfield for 3 months down in the minors and keep working on this not chasing sliders thing.
Well, they did him a terrible disservice because they dropped him from AA right into the major league outfield, and he wasn't ready. They never gave him time to learn how to play the position. So he was a victim of like really an organizational ineptitude there. The other thing is there was one guy in town in the media, and by the way, you can't see me, but I'm raising my hand, who when I was doing my show at KFNS, people were going nuts with me because in the final 2 weeks of spring training, I noted, are you all watching this? Like Walker's doing nothing but hitting ground balls.
Yeah.
Is he ready? Like what ground ball? Are we sure that he's ready?
Yeah.
And Bernie, why are you being so negative? What?
Well,
I'm a realist. I'm not negative. I'm a realist.
And what else changes at the end of spring?
Yeah.
The quality of pitching that you're seeing. You're seeing more major leaguers.
And in a sense, like the people that were dogging me for pointing out the flaws, they were right for a while because Walker got off to a really good start, in April, and then they sent him down prematurely. But still, those problems later resurfaced. So he's an interesting case. But Brad Brown's working with him hard every day, and Walker's had to start to do things a lot differently. Same with Gorman. This stuff doesn't happen in a month or 6 weeks or whatever. It's and you got to ride with it, or what the heck's the point with a runway season?
Yeah, that's actually, I didn't even think of it that way, Bern, but that actually may be the answer to your question, Dave, is the team wants those guys working specifically with Brant Brown every day, the new hitting coach. They want those two guys communicating with him and working with him every day because they feel like maybe he's their best chance of getting them right.
Yeah. And I think I am probably, Bern, a victim of our success. That I'm one of those people who are like, hey, wait a minute, we could win this division. Well, let's get serious about this,
No, I understand that. And listen, that's going to be something as time goes on and the Cardinals are still hanging in this thing. Ali Marmol has said it. He's indicated it. John Mozeliak has indicated it. There will be a point in time if they're not getting results. If they, in their minds, have given both of these guys enough, quote, runway and nothing's happening, and you owe it to the other players on the team who have put you in contention.
Yeah.
And you have an obligation to them to take your shot to win. So that day will come, and maybe it'll come towards the end of June. I can't pick a date, but that day's coming where they will have no choice but to at least for a while pull the plug on these guys.
That went really fast. It's time to talk about Saliga already. But that went really fast.
Yeah,
go ahead, Bern.
I know. Hey, Bernie Miklas here for Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer. I can tell you all about their history because I'm proud of their history. Someone who speaks on their behalf. 1927, 4 generations of Saligas have owned and operated this business, taking care of all these St. Louis families since 1927. And let me tell you what we've learned over the last 16 years or so about Saliga Heating and Cooling since we've been calling them. You can count on all kinds of great stuff. You can count on honesty, knowledge, professionalism, prompt service. They're classy when they come into your home. You can count on them always looking for a cheaper solution, a low-cost solution to save you money, rather than trying to talk you into some equipment you really don't need. And the other thing I can tell you is that you will save in the long run with Saliga's Priority Club. It's a maintenance plan. It's going to save you money because it extends the life of your equipment. They just come out twice a year and they make sure all your stuff's working good, making sure everything's safe. And if they find a little thing like they did 2 or 3 weeks ago in our home, they found a real minor thing. They took care of it on the spot. It was no big deal. It was nothing. But if that had gone undetected, it could have possibly turned into a very big problem and a very big repair bill. So Saliga will take good care of you. I can vouch for that 100 times over. To find out more about this family-owned and operated business that offers free estimates and financing options and still has the best and most trustworthy customer service in town, you can call 314-481-7333 or visit SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Thank you.
It's not too late for a deep spring cleaning on your home. Give my friends at Zero Res a call today. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and tell them that Dave Glover sent you.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Check the back seat. Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good, because every year dozens of children are forgotten in the back seat. Cars get hot fast and can be deadly, so get it in your head. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, And IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
This is Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates. You know, the doctors, or just the best doctors to see for your best vision in St. Louis. 314-966-5000. The doctors. They've treated more than 250 doctors. That's more than any other practice. Dr. Greg Birdie, Dr. Ranjan Malhotra, Dr. Robert Bersati, Dr. Andy Royer. 314-966-5000 is their phone number. 314-966-5000. Dr. Birdie, Dr. Malhotra are cornea surgeons and experts in diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye, dry eye, allergy eye, cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, LASIK surgery. The Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates, experts. Call for an appointment today, 314-966-5000, or visit them online, youridoc.com, 12990 Manchester Road, quarter mile west of 270. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
Welcome back, DGS on KMOX 250. We just know too much about each other and what we're doing these days. No mow May. You guys familiar with this?
No mow.
So mow, M-O-W. You're not supposed to mow your grass in May.
Oh, well, good luck with that.
So that it can grow a couple feet high and it can aid in pollination and giving critters homes. And a lot of people are saying it's ridiculous that we have this silly tradition of mowing our yards because it hurts the environment, it hurts animals, it hurts insects, and we need to extend no mow May to be don't mow at all.
I mean, good luck with your HOA. Good luck with your neighbors. Like, if you live out in the country and that, I do what you want, right? You live out in the country, nobody's going to bother you. You live in my neighborhood. If it gets to be 7 inches tall, you're going to be getting you're going to have problems.
Yeah.
You're going to have neighbors knocking on your door. You're going to get the HOA sending you letters, and you're going to have issues. Like, believe me, I hate the whole thing. I don't like mowing. I don't like doing any of that stuff. But you can't go a whole month without doing that unless you live out in the middle of nowhere.
I think it's more practical to kind of take away the idea that we all need to have a lawn.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, because people are like,
artificial turf.
Right, or gravel, or, whatever.
Although those things would be bad for a lot of the things they're talking about,
I
right?
guess so, yeah.
Like for wildlife and things like that. I mean, what do we expect the world to do? Do we expect the world to be going back to what it was in Little House of the Prairie times?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Because that's not happening.
But you think about, like, out in California, they have these droughts and there's a limit to how much water you can use on your lawn.
Right,
and then
right.
you hear all these stories about celebrities who go like hundreds of gallons over the limit because they have to keep up appearances. They have to have their lawn looking like a golf course or something. I just find that to be completely ridiculous that we hold ourselves to the standard of, like, it has to look like this. Like, no,
yeah. Yeah.
It'll be okay if it doesn't look picture perfect. If it doesn't look like it belongs on Instagram, like, you will be fine.
Yeah, I think that's a bigger problem than the mowing thing. Right? Like, if it's the summertime and it gets brown because it's 100 degrees out for 2 weeks, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not dead. It comes back. It's just not getting the water it needs to be perfectly green and beautiful. I don't think that should not be a problem. Because that becomes a problem, like with water in those situations in California. That's impacting other people's use of it for other things, like drinking or bathing or, whatever.
I'm just thinking of the wildfires in California earlier this year, how that was just like the top story for weeks. And now you don't really hear about it anymore. And my heart kind of breaks for St. Louis because I know we're in the headlines right now. And I mean, here on KMOX, we're raising money for the Red Cross. You can go to KMOX.com/Red Cross to make a donation and your dollars stay local. And we highly encourage you to do that. But you wonder what's going to happen to all these people who don't have roofs, who have lost so much. Whenever this kind of fades from the limelight, their tragedy isn't any less real than it is right now.
Yeah, they're going to be, with so many thousands of structures hit in St. Louis, there are going to be probably hundreds that just did not have insurance. And that's going to be really interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah.
Because who's going to step up? And I'm not even sure who should step up. I've been salty about it when people down on like the Outer Banks keep building houses that keep getting hit by hurricanes and keep getting rebuilt by FEMA. And I don't like that. It's like, well, if you can't get insurance, maybe you shouldn't have insurance. So that's going to be an interesting thing that happens, like you said, Rach, in the coming weeks and months when it's no longer the front of mind.
You know, a lot of people are saying on social media we should use the Rams settlement money to try to help people rebuild. That would be a good place to put those funds. Hey, we even had someone on the stream bring it up earlier.
Boy, that'd be a big fight.
I think so. I think there's a lot of people who have their mind set on that money.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, also, too, and I can't argue with someone who says, I have insurance. You should have insurance. Right?
I mean, yes. I mean, I get it. I mean, I understand the reality of the world, right? But if you don't have it, I understand what the cost is, and cost can be the problem, but what's the cost of not having it? And then something goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. No.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if we're always going to cover people that don't have insurance, then what's the incentive for everybody else to be like, well, I'll keep paying for mine?
Right. Which is why it'll be a big fight.
Right.
I think that'll be a bigger topic, though. I think when you're
settlement.
Yeah. When you're sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars and there are hundreds of millions of dollars needed, it's a pretty direct line to draw.
Yeah. I mean, they have been trying to say that they don't want that money to be like one-time use. They want it to be something that can help sustain a bigger thing. But I mean, it's what it is.
Tell you guys about BioBalance Health, talk about them each and every day, which is good. It means that you guys are calling Dr. Maupin and you're going in for blood tests. And when you get a blood test back that says that your testosterone is low, whether you're a man or a woman, you are getting the pellets. It's not super expensive. It's also not the cheapest thing. It is what it is. And it's something that is going to change your body. It's going to change your mind. Most places sell it on sex, just erectile dysfunction and libido and things like that. And it certainly does have a profound effect on that, but it's also how you are in your job and how you are working out. And are you building muscle and are you able to go out and do your runs or just take care of the kids and take care of your parents? So there are some fun aspects to it. And then there are some just life aspects to it. Right next door to BioBalance Health, we have BioBalance Skin, where people get Botox and chemical peels and micro needling and the new Moxie treatment so that their face just looks younger, 5, 10, 15 years younger all the time. For all things Dr. Maupin, go to biobalancehealth.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they're very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They're in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Winner of 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards, including Overall Excellence. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 3 o'clock. We've got a sunny sky and 71 degrees downtown FE Arch.
This is Brad Choate outside the Sumner High football field. St. Louis City officials provided some information on tornado recovery. Mayor Kara Spencer says nobody's being forced off their property at this time. No 10-day window for condemnation. She says more than 600 structures have red stickers placed on them with severe damage. There are over 500 with orange or yellow stickers and moderate damage, and 620 buildings with green tags with little to no damage. Ameren says the amount of power outages has dropped in the city from 9,000 to 3,400 in a day's time. Police Chief Robert Tracy says 12-hour patrols will continue through the holiday weekend. He says 3 people were arrested trying to steal copper wire from a damaged building in the tornado zone, but otherwise there has not been an uptick in crime.
Just in time for holiday travel. MoDOT, IDOT suspending road work. Here's Roger Brand.
They'll pick the road work back up this coming Tuesday on the Missouri side at 6 a.m. and on the Illinois side, it'll actually start midnight Tuesday morning. Don't forget, if you're headed to Lake of the Ozarks, it's down to 1 lane in each direction through Jeff City with only a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit between Missouri and Stadium Boulevards.
Ramp closures are coming to I-55 as MoDOT begins work on the final 2 bridges in the massive repair project. Starting next week, southbound ramps at Loughborough, Germania, and Virginia will close along with the northbound ramp from Germania, but the Loughborough ramps on the northbound side will reopen. Tom Evers, district engineer for MoDOT, says the bridge work was delayed because of damage caused by contractor KCI.
New girders had to be designed, fabricated, and installed, and then the original rehabilitation had to be completed before traffic could move back onto these lanes. The prime contractor continues to be responsible for all additional costs due to the damaged girders.
The project was supposed to be done by the end of this month, but instead it'll be finished by later this year or early next year. As the Cardinals open a series with the Diamondbacks tonight at Busch, their catcher is looking to stay hot.
Since returning from the injured list, Cards catcher Ivan Herrera has played in 11 games. In those 11 games, he's 17 of 39 for a .436 average. He's got a 1.115 OPS. He's driven in 10, and he's got a home run. I'm Joe Pott, KMOX Sports.
First pitch is at 7:15. We've got the pregame coming up at 6:20. From the KMOX business desk, Apple shares skidded lower after President Trump threatened to slap a 25% tariff on iPhones. Business reporter Jason Brooks.
Apple CEO Tim Cook could rack up his frequent flyer miles with trips from Silicon Valley to Washington, D.C., as he attempts to persuade President Trump from sticking iPhones with a 25% tariff, a move that will sink demand. Cook reportedly met with Trump earlier this week at the White House, and the president has repeatedly expressed his displeasure with Apple's plan to make all of its U.S.-destined iPhones in India. Investment firm Wedbush Securities says iPhones would cost 3 times as much as they do now if Apple manufactures the devices in the U.S.
Apple stock is down more than 21% since the start of the year. Let's get an update of the St. Louis Business Index now to Stifel and Kevin Monton. Kevin?
Thanks, Michael. The markets experienced further sell-off today on continued tariff fears, with the Dow losing 256 at 41,603. S&P was negative 39 at 5802. NASDAQ was off 147 at 18,777, and the Bloomberg St. Louis Index was negative 5 at 1528. Stocks to the upside, though. Spire gained 1.5% at 74.62, and Anheuser-Busch InBev was positive 1.3% at 69.28. To the downside, though, Centene lost 2.8% at 56.41, and Caleres was off 3.3% at 15.96. Finally, Stifel on the downside by 1.2% at 93.13. This has been Kevin Monton, Senior Vice President of Investments at Stifel, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. For more information on Stifel, please visit our website at stifel.com.
On the roads, they've just cleared a stalled vehicle 6440 west at Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Still a stall 270 east at 367. Another stall 70 east at 270 in the left lane. And a crash on 270 south at 55 on the right side.
It's a very pretty Friday afternoon as we get set for the long holiday weekend. Sunny, and we'll call it mild, though it's a little cool for this time of year. 71 for the high. Tonight, more and more clouds. The evening is dry. A couple of scattered showers late night. Not a big deal, 55. Saturday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. Couple of showers, but a lot of dry time on Saturday, 68 degrees. Sunday and Monday, clouds with scattered showers. A couple of non-severe thunderstorms, but no all-day rain. I think the biggest thing about this weekend, it's cool. 64 for the high Sunday and Monday, well below average. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Sponsored by FanDuel Sports Network, with more ways to watch the Cardinals this season. Cardinals fans, more ways to watch the Cards on FanDuel Sports Network. Watch through your TV provider, or new this year, subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network and stream the Cardinals. Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com for details. We've got sunshine at 71 in St. Peter's, 71 in Florissant, also 71 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Tell him. Me and you.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX 306. Alvin Reed is here. He's here every Friday. We have Mike Elam on Thursdays, who just talks a bunch of smack, and then we have to have Alvin come in here and clean it all up. So that's good. It was good yesterday with Elam.
Yeah,
I like the way
great.
you two go back and forth.
I like Mike a lot, and so and one of the things I really like about Mike is, aside from, because like everybody has points we agree and disagree on. Like he and I, we're not going to argue about anything we agree on, right?
Yeah.
But when we argue about something, there's no residual after effects. We're just back to Mike and Kevin after the argument. That I really like.
Which you need to be.
Yeah, I think
We've
so.
lost that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's Donnybrook in a nutshell.
Yeah, right, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. How often do you get mad on Donnybrook?
Not too often. I mean, really not really at all. Sometimes it could, Ray Hartman. No. I love Ray. But sometimes it could be frustrating.
Yeah.
Right.
So we were talking about what's going on the ground now in St. Louis, and we're talking about the fact that when you have thousands of structures, some of those are not going to have insurance, and people are saying use the Rams money.
We talked about that a little bit last night. I am not a fetch the Rams money immediately person. Let's see how it all shakes out with FEMA once they decide. But of course, now, the people down in Southeast Missouri are just getting their FEMA money today. Mm-hmm. That was March.
Yeah.
So, but let's try to not tap that resource just yet. That's all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. May come to it. You may have to, but I'm not ready to just make that the money's there. Because you don't know where it's going yet. And you don't know who it's going to yet. And it's just it's so much damage. And how many buildings were 90% on the way to being condemned that just got the hell blown out of them. You know, I just there's a lot that need to be done before I hit that pot of money.
Yeah. How eye-rolly are you about SEMA and the Button, and they were at Dave and Buster's doing a seminar about how do you collaborate with each other, and not great looks.
Not great looks all the way around. Then I'll tell you the death threat story, and then the police investigate and they don't find any credible death threat.
I don't know this one. Tell me the story.
Oh, all right. Okay. It would have been on, this is Friday. So Wednesday, the story comes out that the SEMA agency director had received death threats. And then the next day, the chief himself said they had looked at it and said they could not find any credible death threat. So where did that come from? And I hate to, I'm not going to pin it on the woman's on, administrative leave, she's getting paid it, but she's got enough going wrong in her life. I hope she didn't concoct that story, in search of sympathy or something like that. It just looks really, really bad. And then apparently they tested it the day before and it worked, but then the fire departments didn't work. And it's the same thing as the streets crumbling. Stuff is old, and you might want to push that button every now and then. When's the last time you pushed the button to see if it worked? Now, it could have been a week before, because aren't you supposed to test these things?
Yeah.
I mean, they do in the burbs. I hear them all the time.
Right, exactly.
It's like first whatever
And
of
they
every
take
month
first
or whatever.
Tuesday, I think it is. Right.
And my understanding was they tested the sirens, but they didn't test the mechanism.
That's what I was. Yes,
gotcha,
that's what I
gotcha.
was saying. That I guess apparently they did some kind of test that it worked. So I guess that was the siren.
Yeah.
But as far as if you'd have told me, Alvin, there's a button that has to be pushed to enact the tornado sirens, I said, you're kidding me.
Yeah.
It wouldn't come down to that.
Sure.
You got to be able to do that remotely.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if I was the man and I had the code, I could do that from, it falls on my responsibility. If I'm someplace else and I do the code and I enact it and there's no, Alma, why'd you do that? It was, there was no storm within 100 miles. I have to live with that. But how do you leave yourself in that situation? How do you everybody leave the office and powerful storms are headed to your community? That's where I think this thing.
You don't have to get too fancy with this one.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's a somebody's got to stay behind kind of day.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it's almost like, hey, we're going to the ball game tonight. There's a chance, we see that there's a chance thunderstorms might roll through. We're still going to go to the game, but have some rain gear. Be prepared to leave. This, it may hit, it may not, but I'm going to take some type of action, basically, to not get rained on. Yeah. Well, if they're saying that you might have seriously severe weather, hail, high winds, possible tornadoes, everyone can't be gone, and the button is just sitting there waiting to be pushed. It's bad.
Do you feel like all of these episodes of incompetence are dragging the new mayor down, or you think that she is doing what she needs to do to keep her powder dry?
Well, I think yes, and I could just throw right into it. I will say that there's this new standard of politics in this day and age where it's your fault. You're in charge. It's your fault. And some of the things, like I say, previous mayor, sorry, there were some things. What could she do? Yeah. Okay. Some people were here, especially the city structure and the charter and how things are done. That's existed for decades upon decades upon decades. But when stuff happened, it was kind of like, well, it's your fault. All right. And a lot of it was, the way she responded. Yeah. But the actual problem that comes up itself is something different. I think that's what's kind of going on now. She, Mayor Spencer's getting that taste of, it's really not my fault, but I kind of got to stand there and say it's my fault.
Switching to national news, I was emotionally affected when I heard that the president is telling Harvard, the Trump administration telling Harvard, you can't have international students, and you international students, you need to transfer immediately to a different college that is following our advice on DEI and such.
It's just comical. That's just beyond the realm. We're also talking about private school too.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that at a public school.
Yeah.
And you go tell a private school, that they cannot have any. And if you're in international, you need to go someplace else.
Yeah.
Right. And then now Harvard's got to sue, and I got plenty of money to sue. And it's just
I would say this, and then I'm speaking just for me. I don't know. I'm not Brad Young. I don't know the ins and outs of the legalities, whether the president can do this or not. But I'm solidly on the side of whether it's President Trump, President Biden, President Lincoln, they shouldn't do this.
Yes, that's basically all I'm saying, is that you're going into areas where there's no justification for it, but B, if this is allowed to stand, like any president, anytime could do anything. And that's not how the United States of America works.
Well, wasn't one of the big pushbacks in recent years that people didn't like anyone in the government saying you've got to speak a certain way, right? Because that's what people get mad about, pronouns and things along those lines. It's the same idea. You can't have retribution against people for not doing what you want them to do when you're in public office, when you're in the federal government. And people that were mad about it before, they were like, you can't make us do this or that, are now okay with someone doing the exact same thing, just different issue.
Yeah, well, that's true. And this issue is one that it is education, not a business, but at the same time, you do pay to go to school there, especially like at Harvard. I don't care if you're on, people aren't there on Pell Grants.
Right.
They're paying money. Okay. That's another thing. Like, wait a minute, if I fit the parameter to go to this college and I'm paying money to go to this college, you're lessening the value of my education by doing these things, President Trump. If I'm sure there's plenty of schools out there that got this policy or that policy, whatever, they don't rank as high as Harvard because it's like, well, you're not, attracting the same type of student. So this one, that was one, like, okay, never mind Harvard. You're going to tell a university that they cannot have any international students.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's now, when you first got to college, all right, did you have any idea that there would be as many international students at the college when you got there?
No, I was like Woody Boyd off the farm, though. Like I went straight from Roxana to WashU.
All right.
I didn't know nothing about nothing.
But
I didn't know nothing about birth and no babies.
Okay. I knew that there would be international students.
Yeah.
I had no idea there would be that many international students when I got to the University of Kansas.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I thought it was just Kansas. I'm not at a.
You're going to be the international student.
Exactly. A quick story. Yeah, I'm in a fraternity. I'm an Alpha Phi Alpha member, and we were going to reach out to a lot of Nigerian students were there. Guys, I was like, we're going to reach out to our Nigerian brothers and not get them to pledge, but say we want to just be active with the, whatever. They looked at us like we was trash, man. Like, okay,
Really?
all right. Because they like richer than rich and can on.
Yeah.
And like, oh no, I got a little lesson in,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not exactly brothers.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Okay. Right on. It was like unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember being at WashU and I was his first week and you have all the organizations. And again, I'm so off the farm. I'm carrying a briefcase. I'm that big a dork with an orange in it or something, right? And I remember there was the Black Law Students Association and Gay Law. And I remember a white guy going, well, where the hell is White Law Association? And I just went, I have to go.
I have to go.
Time to go.
I don't know much, but I know enough to walk away.
Yeah,
Walk away from
time
that.
for us
Well,
to
that
leave.
is like, well, that's the Bar Association. Shoot. I was just out at KU, like right there in the Union. They still have like what gay services in Kansas is and whatever. Big old sign in the Union and whatnot. They're not backing down off that.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I thought like, hey, it's always been right there in the student union on the main floor. But I figured, maybe now still have a really nice.
It was so interesting. When I went to WashU, I couldn't have told you what conservative meant, what liberal meant. Certainly, no one had ever said woke before. Like, it was just you just knew that you were in a whole new world with whole new people and trying to figure out your place.
Well, the whole, I learned political spectrum and that we were all like kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
And I've always believed that, that the ends of the spectrum are really just, they're there, but, but they aren't the power brokers of American politics. And that kind of changed.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And now liberal and conservative are two different terms altogether. Then, conservatives and liberals had enough of the Vietnam War.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whatever the issue is, you got to be, you're either for it or you're against it.
Yeah.
Well, how about if we met in the middle and stopped it? Nope. What'd you say? If I can't run it, I'll run it in the ground.
There you go. That's Alvin Reed from Donnybrook. Thank you, buddy.
Oh, anytime, man.
This Memorial Day weekend, bring your crew to Busch Stadium to see the Cardinals take on the D-backs. May 23rd to the 25th, catch great promotions all weekend long, including a Mason Win bobblehead and a Kid City Connect jersey giveaway. Kick off your summer with ballpark hot dogs, ice-cold beers, and entertainment for the whole family. Tickets are available at Cardinals.com. This is how summer is meant to be. See you at the ballpark.
This is Alec Burleson, St. Louis Cardinals, for the Lou.
Catch a Cardinals game on your next date night or friends night out. Whether it's love in the stands or laughter with your crew, nothing beats ballpark vibes under the lights. Cold drinks, great eats, and Cardinals baseball. Check out Friday Night Live at Busch Stadium and enjoy happy hour price food and drinks all game long. Every Friday home game. Get your tickets today at Cardinals.com and make memories that go beyond the scoreboard. Busch Stadium, where great nights begin.
I'm Rhett. And I'm Link. And we're the hosts of the podcast Ear Biscuits. We're just two lifelong friends who've been talking about life for a long time.
From being dads to businessmen to all the random things we experience, nothing is off limits.
And now we're talking to you. We're answering your questions, giving advice that you may or may not want to take, and listening to your hilarious stories.
So leave us a voicemail to be part of the show at
1-888-EARPOD-1 on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
At Ophthalmology Associates, their goal is to ensure that every one of their patients enjoys the best possible eyesight at every stage of their life. This is Rick Wallace, and I've been through several life stages with Ophthalmology Associates. I've trusted them with my eye care for almost 30 years. Doctors Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, and Royer head up a network of leading specialists in every field of eye health. They're involved in leading-edge research and equipped with the latest technology to handle the most complex situations. And there is always personalized eye care tailored to your individual needs and preferences at Ophthalmology and Associates. Oh yeah, pediatric eye care too, and a full-service optical shop. Ophthalmology Associates. Visit youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit ConsumerCellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
News, talk, cards. 1041 FM KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 323. Wheels got a stairway to Kevin.
Yeah, let's a couple of them that I wanted to throw in there, but let's just do this one that I think is pretty straightforward. So in sports, people like athletes, managers, coaches, it's almost like they're expected to cease being normal human beings because, oh my God, the season is on, right? God forbid your wife have a child and you're going to spend a couple days with your kid. God forbid you do anything. Well, Alex Cora of the Red Sox got a lot of heat, mostly from sports talk radio, not from very many other people in Boston, because he missed a game to go to his daughter's college graduation and to be there for his daughter. And I don't know if you guys see this in any other walks of life, but are there any others where normal people feel like the people involved in this business should suspend everything about their lives for this business? Like this has come up a few times, right? There was a time when Phil Mickelson was playing the Masters and his wife was pregnant. And he told everybody, look, if she's giving birth, I'm leaving the Masters because I'm going to be there for that. And he got criticized for it. And people are calling, and this was 20, 25 years ago. It was a long time ago. And it struck me with this Alex Cora thing too. It's not even a player. He's just look, managers matter. Don't get me wrong. They matter, but they ended up winning the game anyway.
Yeah.
Because he still wrote the lineup and did set everything up. Why do you think that makes sense to so many people? Maybe it's not a big percentage of people, but I mean, these are like mainline talk show hosts that are like ripping the guy for not being dedicated enough. These guys spend 80 hours a week doing this. They travel half the year. And that's not enough for you?
I understand why they would be salty if someone in a field like that took a leave, like a parental leave.
Like a 3-week leave or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, right. Okay, I understand that. Some jobs you just can't do that in. I don't think I could do that. You know, I don't feel like I could say, having another baby, I'll see you in 3 months. I don't have that kind of job.
Right.
If I had a behind the scenes job, I could do that, but I'm in front of the scenes. But, when my mom was passing away and if I were to ever have a grandchild, yeah, I'm not here. I'm going to be there for that. And I think that's just reasonable. But I think a lot of those same guys feel the same way about just normal workers too. I think there are a lot of people who really, really find it offensive when men especially take time for things like that.
Yeah, but I mean, like who? So your kid's graduating college. My kid graduated college 6 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever it was. I took a day off of work to go down to where the graduation was going to be so I could be there the next day for the graduation.
Yeah,
how's it any different? I mean, he's got a job that's high profile, but they play 162 games. You know, even if it's your star player missing a game or missing a weekend series, this happens all the time. They have like a paternity list in professional sports where if your wife has a kid, you leave and they can replace you on the roster and you're gone for a few days. It's not 3 weeks. It's usually a couple of days. It's usually 2 or 3 days. I don't understand though, like why would this get anybody heated? Like you're not dedicated enough because this week you only put in 70 hours instead of 80.
Yeah. It just feels like a subconscious like misogyny thing. Like you're a man. What are you even supposed to do for this baby? Who was it? Was it Ben Shapiro was saying like whenever his kids were born, like I didn't do anything. It's like, well, there are plenty of dads who are very hands-on and can help a lot. And
That says more about him than it says about anybody else.
I think anyone who criticizes someone for taking a day off because their child is being born, it's kind of coming from a place of insecurity and feeling threatened and feeling you know.
Well, the angle that I wanted to approach on this too, from being in sports for as long as I have, sports fans as a whole are normal people. But there's an element that are abnormal, hence fanatic. They're just selfish. they don't care about you as a human. All they care is that you feed them wins so they can be happy on that day.
Yeah.
There you go. Lombardo, right?
Yeah. So I've been telling you guys about Anywhere Lombardo in our past couple of spots, but I just think this is so cool. You know, there are many amazing Lombardo Homes communities that you could choose to live in, but not everyone is going to want to live in those particular areas. A lot of people want to live, on property that they've bought. With Anywhere Lombardo, you can build a Lombardo home on your lots. And the best part is they've done it so many times, they can really streamline the process, and you get that amazing Lombardo home just on your own property. So go to the website lombardohomes.com if you want to check it out.
Yeah, go to lombardohomes.com just to see what we do. There are dozens of communities that will give you a great feel. There are very, very upscale, oh man, these are all going to be pretty expensive homes. And then there are not 55 plus, but, like attached homes where you don't have your specific yard to take care of, but you have walking trails and so forth. So really, from starter homes to your last home and everything in between, we have it at lombardohomes.com.
In the aftermath of a devastating tornado, your generosity has made a real difference. Thanks to donors like you, the Red Cross